playing? What type of playing is this? Well, so Maduka, because I'm actually not going to call him Daddy Father Mo, Papa Mo, Baba Mo, whatever, whatever. Maduka. So lazy Maduka has the effrontery, the audacity to give Naya to Sopuru. God. You know, a lot of things actually happened in this episode. I know I said this every episode, like, oh, a lot of things, because a lot of things do actually happen. And I've been taking notes of everything that's been going on in this episode 8, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's a lot. And the concluding part of this season just stopped the charts. Like, okay, where do we begin? Where do we begin? Let's begin from the top. Let's take it from the top. So, just as expected, I told you guys in the last review that the rate at which Sopuru came in to take more out of the scene, I was just like, forget it. He's going to hit her. Like, in fact, he's doing so much work to retain himself or withhold himself from hitting her on the spot. But I'm sure he tried his best to make sure that they were alone together before hitting. And look at those slaps. Yo. And lucky for Mo, even though she was quite stupid with that decision, the decision of following Sopuru out of Y-Up, luckily for her, she was able to get out of the car, and some women rescued her and some men came to their rescue and all that. Also, I was quite confused when, the scene with Wasil and Simi came up, and I saw that Wasil's eyes were a bit teary. What do I mean by a bit? They were so teary, like his eyes were like heavy, like he was wanting to cry. I was confused that Shelley, like, what's going on? Like, did Nasir beat you that hard? Like, it was the beating that painful. But then, when Simi spoke, and then he talked about how they should give their relationship a second chance, and she was like, oh, she gets angry every time she sees or she remembers what went down between them, their past relationship or their history. And everything started to make sense, because I was like, Simi doesn't really look like she's over Wasil, and not that she has affection for him or anything. I feel like she's not over him in the sense that she's not over that situation, everything that went down. I mean, she has not moved past that old scenario. As a guy, please, I need a backstory on what happened to Simi and Wasiu. I mean, it took me a minute to realize that, or it took a comment for me to remember that Wasiu actually infected Simi with the HIV virus. But I feel like there's a lot more in the background that I've forgotten from past seasons. So if anybody has the tea, please leave it in the comments. Please help your girl so that I can better connect to their story. So even later on in the episode, we saw Wasiu approach Simi, talking about how can they be friends and all that stuff. And then he started asking about Nasir. I'm like, no, you're the ex. You don't come around asking about the prospective new boyfriend. Like, no, don't do that. You are friends. You can talk about other things, but I feel like boyfriend issue should be out of the story. And then Simi saying, oh, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I've not told him yes yet. I'm like, you're giving the guy hope. You're giving Wasiu hope that, okay, I mean, she never tell him yes yet. Like, I'm like, girl, please. Like, okay, fine, be friends, but like, there should be clear boundaries. Boundaries, like, not talking about whatever is going on between you and Nasir. I don't know if I'm a bit too much here, but I mean, just for the sake of Wasiu not banking so much on a decision concerning Nasir. I mean, let's move away from that. So Maduka is a madman. Maduka, the father of Mo, Naya, and Chike or Kachi. I always mix Kachi and Chika together. I think it's Kachi. Yes. Maduka is a madman and he's so unwell, because saying he wants to hear the side of Sopuru's story when they reported that Mo was beaten up by Sopra, and was like, oh, I've heard the side of the story. What could he possibly say was the reason for him hitting her so bad that almost it disfigured her face? Like, what could be the reason? I'm even surprised that he doesn't have a record of beating Mo's mom. Maybe they decide not to explore that part of the writing, but there should be a part of the story that says he actually used to eat Mo's mom, because that then it would make sense why he would support Sopuru beating his own child, like your child. Like, don't you have any feeling? Don't you have any emotion? So yeah, we also saw that Simi, Nasir approached Simi, talking about how he's sorry I reacted to the whole thing. He got jealous. I mean, his reaction Well, I say his reaction, but the fact that he got jealous is very understandable. But his action at that time it wasn't necessary. But him going forward to ask Simi out and say, "Oh, can she be? Will she be his girlfriend?" I'm just like, I don't think so just yet. I don't think so just yet. Reason being, I feel like Simi is not entirely over Wasiu. Like I already talked about the situation, not exactly her feelings towards him, but like moving on and forgiving him and all that stuff. And also, I feel they've not properly ironed out what just recently happened to them. I feel like they've not talked about it properly. I don't know if you're feeling my reasons. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Sopuru is going to be punished? Let me know as well in the comment section. I know we saw the scene where he got dragged out of the police, out of his home. Looked like they were going to be pressing charges. Do you think so? I mean, fast forward to when Maduka went to his house to beg, like a broke, shameless, lazy man. Like Maduka is so shameless. Like, why can't he go out to make some money and pay for the roof over the head of his kids and his wife, his family? Why does he have to sell his child for house rent? Then whenever he feels like he needs a car, he will sell Naya, right? And then when he feels like, oh my god, I need to travel abroad, he'll go ahead and sell his meal, sell his son. Like then later on, when he feels like, oh, I want to own the world, I want to be the richest man, he'll go ahead and sell his wife. Like for how long will he keep selling and selling to get the basic thing of life that he can actually work for? That's just me being petty with the whole situation. But yeah, I feel like Maduka is very lazy. Man should get a job. Get a job. So yes, our lovebirds are back together. Baba was confessing, talking, and it was good to see them back together. And he gave her a love letter. Sorry, he gave her a timetable, a lesson timetable. We know, it's scope, but we'll take it. I was just like, hey, who go give me timetable? Bye. Like, I don't want math timetable, but just give me any other timetable that I can work with. Because if you give me math timetable, we'll both fail. But yeah, it was nice to see them together and they had like proper conversations about certain things that could possibly like affect their relationship on the long run. I mean, just trying to be better friends. Babe, Haliu was starting to move on from the old situation, and then Praise came out with the lame excuse of I have changed, la 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 la. I'm like, girl, boy, bye. And it was Simi, Sheila, and Mo in the background for me. Like they were with their power pose, they were giving me Agoje. Agoje women vibe. Like if you remember the women king, they were giving me that vibe. The way they stood and they were like, "We're ready to fight your battle, girl. Just give us one command that we're ready to follow." Liked how they kicked him out. I liked how they kicked him out. When the quick notice came to Maduka that they should move out in 14 days, and he went bizarre and he was shouting and calling for Mo's mom, and he was saying, do you have money to pay for rent in Lagos? I'm like, if you cannot pay for rent in Lagos, move to the village. Move to the village. Go and stay in a hut. Go and live somewhere in your village or your farm. That's even if you have one. Leave Lagos if you can't afford it. Don't use your kids to pay for your very stupid, very basic lifestyle that you should be able to afford on your own. To the funny part, in all of this brouhaha that was happening, Sister Naya was still feeling pregnant. I don't know. This should not be funny, but it is funny. And just like I said in my last review, she finally took the test after Tolu convinced her friend convinced her, and she opened up to Mo. She finally took the test and they realized that she wasn't even pregnant, and it was as a result of her stressing and hormonal imbalance and all of those stuff, which is quite normal. Or is it normal? But it happens. So I was just like, girl, you've just been stressing over nothing. And we saw that Sheila made an announcement to the YO members that YO will have to close down because of insufficient fund. But later on, we saw that they got like the support back from the bank because of the NITECH contest and all of that stuff. And they announced the winner and Mo won. And in all of those excitement and celebration, that was where Mo got the call from her mom that Sopuru has now been given Naya by their father Maduka. Ah, God. And I feel like this situation now will compel Mo to go forward and marry him and save our kid sister, our innocent sister. But you guys think like that's like the best result? I feel like he hasn't gotten to that point just yet. I feel like there are better options for them to explore if they really want to kick the ass of Maduka and Sopuru. What you guys think of this episode? I mean, I feel like the show is getting interesting. It's developing real well. I like. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Please like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I'll love to see you in my next one. But until then, make sure to remain happy because you owe it to yourself. Bye, guys.